Okay, guys, so it seems that people are having trouble not so much with using Bay and switching back and forth between exponential and logarithmic form. It seems like we're having more trouble with the log properties. So I wanted to post some more examples about condensing and expanding logs. So these are our properties, our three main properties: product property, quotient property, power property. So the big thing to remember is that addition and multiplication go together. Subtraction and division go together. And then our power property is the one that lets us take an exponent and move it out to the front. Okay? So when we want to condense logs, we are going from this version to this version. Okay? So when we condense our logs, what I'm looking at is we have subtraction. So I'm going to condense this down to one log. My base is going to stay 3. And now these two parts, subtraction turns into division. So it's 20 divided by 4. And we can take this one step further, and we know that 20 divided by 4 is 5. So the condensed version is log base 3 of 5. Now, looking at number 2, what we need to do first is deal with this 3. So our power property lets us move this up. So this is going to be log of x cubed plus log of y. Now that I see that I have plus, plus goes hand in hand with multiply. So I'm going to rewrite this as one single log, and I'm going to take the two individual parts, and I'm going to multiply them together. So x to the third times y. So this is my condensed version of this log. Now, I added in some slightly more complicated examples. We have 3 logs. Unless things are grouped together in parentheses, which they're not, you simply go left to right. So what I'm going to do is look at these two first, and I'm going to follow my properties to condense these. Then I'll factor in the third one. So the first thing that I see is the 3 needs to come up. So this is going to become 2 to the power of 3. Now I have plus, and plus means multiply. So this gets written as one log, 2 to the power of 3, which is 8, times 4. So I could go ahead and simplify that, and that's going to be log of 32. Now I have minus log of 16. So now these two are going to get combined into one log, and minus tells me that we divide. So I have log of 32 over 16, and 32 divided by 16 is 2. Now, on all these other problems so far, you notice I had a base on this one. If we don't have a base, we assume it's 10. You do not have to write that base of 10. You don't have to put a base at all if there's not one there. So we're going to do the same thing here. Start with the first two. I'm going to move up my 2 and move up my 4. So that makes this x squared and y to the 4th. So now I've gotten rid of those leading coefficients. Plus tells me I'm going to multiply. So this is going to become log of x squared times y to the 4th. Then I'm going to put this one on, and I'm going to go ahead and move this 3 up also. So this is log of z cubed. Now I have subtraction. So I condense it down to one single log. This stays on the top divided by this. So x squared y to the 4th divided by z to the 3rd. So when you condense, the whole idea is you're condensing it down so there is only one log showing up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go backwards and we're going to expand. So for these, notice here I have a base. Division means subtraction. So I'm going to split this apart into 2 separate logs, and they have to be subtracted. So this division sign tells me I'm subtracting my logs. And then I'm just using these 2 parts as my 2 logs. So it's log base 5 of x and log base 5 of y, and those are being subtracted. So we're expanding this out into multiple logs. Now, with a problem like number 6, I think one of the issues that I'm seeing is people are wanting to put the 4 clear out on the front, but what we have to realize is this is 3 times r to the 4th. So really, it's just 2 separate terms. So I'm going to have 2 separate logs, and the 4 is only attached to the r. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into log of 3 and log of r to the 4th. Now, these things are being multiplied together, and multiplication turns into addition. So now the only other thing that I need to do is deal with this one exponent, and it just goes to the front of its very own term. It does not go to the front of the whole thing. So I have log of 3 plus 4 log of r. Now, number 7 is a little bit different because you notice here I had 2 separate things. The exponent was only attached to the r. Here, I have the whole group in parentheses with the exponent outside the group. So this is one that you could actually move the 2 out to the front. Okay, so it's 2 times this whole thing. Now, division tells me I'm going to subtract, so I'm going to have log of y minus log of 3. And remember, the 2 is being multiplied by the whole thing. So I can call it 2 times log of y minus log of 3. Or if I want, I could distribute that 2 and call it 2 log of y minus 2 log of 3. So either one of these are perfectly fine, acceptable answers. So for the last one now, I have a cubed times b to the 4th. So I have 2 separate things being multiplied. So I'm going to have log base 7 of a cubed. Multiply means plus. Log base 7 of b to the 4th. So my base never changes. Now I can use the power rule and move the 3 to the front of its term and the 4 to the front of its term. So 3 log base 7 of a plus 4 log base 7 of b. So it's important we understand these properties because next we're going to start solving equations, and on some problems we have to use the properties before we can solve.